Ah, yes. Where's your punk cup?
You like my punk co? I'll send it to you for Christmas, I expect. No, I'm using another one today for some reason. Don't know why, but can you see what it says? You probably can't, can you?
Yeah.
Is
Something
it
would.
backwards?
What would
Does
have?
it come out? Yeah, what would House do? You know
All
who
right.
House is, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
Dr. Gregory House. He's the guy who said a lot of things, but one that always stuck in my mind was everybody lies, the smile can mislead, the eyes can lie, but the shoes always tell the truth, which I thought was very good. So, whatever you are, always wear some decent shoes, and people will think highly of you, or so they say.
Yeah. Right. So, do you want to do the open introduction, please, for us?
Yes, indeed. Welcome along, viewers, listeners, and anybody else. Hopefully, we'll say a few things that you might find of interest. And I am Trevor Gear, and he calls me Bruv.
And I'm Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cuz. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship. Right. So, over to you, bro. Pencil.
Okay, over to me. Yeah, pencil. Yeah, no. What did I say? No one can make a pencil. Did that make any sense to you at all?
Well, I thought about lead. That's the only thing that came to my
Lead.
mind. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
wood. Yeah.
Well, that's probably the first mistake you made.
All right.
Sorry to be critical, but by suggesting that a lead has pencil, I mean there's sort of an innuendo or a proverb or something which says he has no lead in his pencil. Now we make of that what we will, but
Right.
it perpetuates the myth that actually pencils contain lead. They don't.
Oh.
I think I could be wrong on this, but I think the last time pencils contained lead was in the Roman Empire, the Roman days,
Ah.
where they did put lead in pencils, but that changed. That changed, um, and sometime later on in the medieval times,
Mm.
something called graphite was discovered, which is based on carbon. Well, they mixed this graphite with clay, and actually that substance there called graphite is what is in a pencil. It's not lead, so that's a misconception. So a pencil is comprised of graphite. Okay, so why can no one build a pencil? Well, let me start by saying, sort of, kind of a bit away from that. As you may know, excuse me, I'm just going to silence my phone, which I forgot to do. Just bear with me a tick, please. Good. Yeah, you may or may not know. Fairly recent, a couple of weeks ago, I sent in five more songs to your excellent radio
Oh
station
yeah.
for
Oh
play,
yeah.
and it's an interesting thing because I do this going back. Well, I've been doing this for some years with you now, as well, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess I used to be doing sort of five new tracks, probably three times a year. The last couple of years, I found it's been two times a year, and I guess other things creep in. But if like me, and I'm sure like you, you're fairly occupied, you're fairly busy in your life, then you have to sort of organize what you do and when you do it. So writing, as you know, writing new songs and arranging them and then recording them is a pretty arduous task. It's a hard effort, particularly if you have like you have your own built-in quality control person who after you have your own built-in quality control person who after 5 hours of trying to write one particular one verse or something like that, you think actually this isn't going to work, so you've got to bin it and put it, lose that one. So it can be tough. So after, I suppose, an average 2.5, 3 months it takes me to from the start, starting from scratch, writing a song, and then arranging it, recording it, working out the chords, the instruments. Because as you know, I do it all sort of real time. I don't do it via computers. So it's tough, but it's great. I mean, if that's all I've got to worry about in life, what's my problem? But it is hard work, and I guess like anything that's worthwhile, hard work is going to be involved in there somewhere. So what usually happens, or what used to happen, going back 2 or 3 times, once I'd sent them into Medellin, and breathe a bit of a sigh of relief and say, "Well, that's good. That was a hard 2 months to 2 to 3 months work, fitting in every spare evening that I might have, or sometimes during the days, just working on it and actually loving it. I mean, if I didn't like doing it, I guess that will be it. But I love doing it. But it's also it can be stressful, particularly the recording process. When, as I've said before, I discover that I know more swear words than I realised before if I make mistakes. So it's tough. But what used to happen for a couple of days afterwards, well, actually for 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, after sending them, sort of giving birth to my children, my offspring is the way I sort of look at it. There's a sense of relief, and I can relax a bit, although I'm always pretty busy. I'm not having to put my mind to what is a pretty tough, albeit enjoyable task. But lately I found 2 or 3 days afterwards where I had that sense of, I can just, I don't wake up and think, I've got a lot of work to do on a song. It's 2 or 3 days later, I'm kind of champing at the bit to start again, which I suppose is what having a creative urge is all about. And that is how it's been lately. I want to get cracking with it, and I don't always manage to because of other things happening. But in other words, that process doesn't really go away. So why do I like that process? Well, I've often said, you start with nothing, you create from nothing something that comes out of you, out of your head, out of your imagination, and you end with something that hopefully is agreeable to people who might listen to it. So that's the process. But then we make the mistake perhaps in anything, not just songwriting, but it could be writing a book or writing a paper, an essay, anything, painting a picture. We think that the song, in my case, is the hard part. And actually, we couldn't be more wrong. And to illustrate that, I'll say about